You're missing opportunities if you're not investing like $1 billion family office. It's something that I learned at a family office event last week that I wanted to share the insights of a $1 billion family office on a fireside chat for how they approach deals, people, investments, wealth, and stewardship. Oftentimes when we think of high net worth individuals, we think of opportunities that we can take investments from. So when I was a co-founder of a software company, certainly when you meet an investor, you get really excited and you're really just ready to build that relationship and ultimately receive that check. Regardless of the way that you are connected, it was an ultimate reminder on how we approach the things that we're actually going for, and the idea of being curious as opposed to searching. So this is actually a Bible verse that talks about this, and it states how in Proverbs 11:27, whoever diligently seeks good seeks favor, but evil comes to those who search for it. Now, as we think about this, it's the idea of being curious again. As we think about this, it's the idea of being curious and seeking and not searching. So we're not going for a set outcome of, hey, this person is going to say, give me a check, but it's more on the idea of building relationship. That individual could maybe connect us to other people, as well as could potentially be a investor either now or in the far future. I think that's a really big thing that I've reflected on my time of raising capital as well as deploying capital, is really the difference between how we show up, how we interact, and how we build relationships. What is the purpose and the intention of the relationship, and can it really be fostered beyond just some business transaction? If you're only looking to raise capital or receive money, you will typically get advice. If you go for a relationship or ask for advice, you actually tend to receive capital and receive opportunity. So it's a different mindset shift, really, that I've learned over the years as a takeaway that was also reaffirmed on this $1 billion investor panel. The other thing that really came to be is the idea of how your gut will guide you. Even with an intuitive, serendipitous type connection, they talked about how it took about 16 meetings to actually close the deal over the span of a year. Now, that was a coincidence sort of thing and not necessarily an everyday piece, but again, it's a reminder that good things come over time and with repetition, not with immediate satisfaction. And especially from a fundraising side, they talked about how potentially if it's a smaller check, call it say $50,000 for a venture capitalist type of investment, could take about a week. But certainly as the investment amount increases, it's going to take longer, and such the relationship requires more time to season, as well as if you have connections to anyone on a high net worth individual basis, that certainly will help the timeline of it. But certainly the idea of money compared to relationships is that relationships will always win, because relationships will always be there. There won't always be money. And so it's an avid reminder of what we're seeking in our heart posture and intention for as we're talking with others, especially as we're raising capital or deploying capital as well. The other fascinating thing to think about is the idea of how we can be lean and mean and intentional with our resources. This over $1 billion family office has 5 people operating it, and it's a gentle reminder that it's not the ability for what we can do, it's the ability of what is the best to be done. And sometimes our growth is more than what our best is, because the best is more than what we can currently do. And so as we're thinking about even our personal selves and our mindset, we really want to understand how we can allocate appropriately not only our time and talent, but also then our treasure as we look to invest or steward our wealth. These were the biggest things that I took away from this panel of $1 billion plus family office, and ultimately how we can go about being better stewards with our wealth, time, and resources, and connect more on a human level, build relationships, and then as those opportunities come to invest, really analyze them, work with them, and allow them, not beyond set timelines or set expectations, and really see it through with the best that it can be done, even though that might be more than what our best might be.